Okay, here we are again. Very briefly last night after I stopped recording, I looked at this bug and found what the problem was. So, uh, and what it was not happening, basically. Print was using different draw routine. Not now. Yeah, the message that appears at the bottom of the screen was using a little routine called print, which doesn't involve instantiating or creating an instance of the text class, which you can create an instance of the text class, and it'll draw a lot faster because you set the value of the text, and it then doesn't have to sort of not deduce it, but it doesn't have to figure it out going through character by character, deciding which each letter is every time you want to draw it. Anyway, long story. That is sorted and looks a lot nicer now. The drawing routine that was sort of the proper one within gtext is much better than the one that was used in print. Anyway, these are still to do, and some other things have come to me. There is still a strange bug, minor bug. Image viewer occasionally opening with two views. I don't know why. It's not the end of the world, but it probably will need to change. These little things are important. I've been playing around with it, and it's a lot sort of easier to use, not having to come out to the app to view the latest render, but these little things will make it easier. And also improve appearance of viewer controls. They're just appearing as standard buttons just now, and they don't look good against the backdrop. The alternatives, well, there are loads of alternatives. I can make new gadgets, make new buttons. The buttons that exist have a simple alternative style by which they don't draw a square around themselves or anything. They will just have their icon or their text drawn onto the backdrop, whatever's behind them, and when you move the mouse over them, you will see a frame around them. Those type of buttons might be better for this display. Let me have a little look at it and think. But it's not certain. That would mean that, well, yeah, it's really not, because it would mean that under normal circumstances the buttons would just be a word floating in space, which may get lost against the backdrop, whatever ink it's in, unless I draw it with a little outline, which I could do. It's a bit time consuming. It feels time consuming to draw the font with an outline, because even though, the machine can manage it fine, it's not like that's the problem. It's just an awful lot of drawing for very little reward. So, and also the positions of the buttons kind of need to change. When I open a new thing and this open latest appears here, up here at the top left is really where I want the text to appear, which will say showing whatever. To make the text readable against the backdrop, I will put it on a transparent unit, transparent rectangle in a transparent field. But so first off, I need to change the position of the buttons, and I think the open latest really belongs down here with save image, load image. The problem with that is that open image and save image both come and go. sorry, open latest and save image. Both come and go. Under this circumstance, open latest is here and save image is not. So if open image was just among this stack of buttons, excuse me, if open latest was just among this stack of buttons, then in this circumstance, if open latest was on the top, there'd be a gap here in the middle where save image was gone. And in this circumstance, if open image was in the middle, there'd be a gap in the middle where open latest is gone and save image would be at the top. So one way or the other, open latest or save image. I can always load an image, but sometimes I can save and sometimes I can open latest. So I can't, so without having a bit of code that not only hides or shows the buttons, but also changes their position. Now that's not the end of the world, it's just annoying, you know? And if I could think of a way of doing it that didn't involve doing that, then I would do it. But I face that problem wherever I arrange them. You know, I could put them down here horizontally, put them here stacked up, same problem. One of the benefits of having the two buttons separate, or the two separate sets of buttons, is that it draws that distinction. And I'm not sure. I'm not sure what will look best. And I suppose, like, really, I know, and in a way I know that what would look best is for me just to change the code so that it creates a stack of what to do with image buttons here, down here, which changes size depending on, you know, what's on the screen. But I think that's bad as well, because of course that means that some of those buttons which you frequently be pushing are changing position. It's no good. And I think that, no, I just don't think that's any good. And I don't like the alternatives. Another alternative is that the open images open latest's home is here, to the left of load image. So load and save. Load's always here, save comes and goes, and open comes and goes. Open latest. That kind of has a sort of logic to it. I don't like that what would be a little arrangement of three buttons nestled into the corner. But it's probably just what I can get away with. I think it's what it's going to have to be. I really do think it'll look ugly, but I suppose I'm going to change the look of these buttons anyway. And maybe I'll just make a custom button or a custom type of button. Let me see. It's quite tedious to make a custom type of button just for this purpose, but I suppose there's no reason. Well, is there? I could make just another, you know, style of button within the button class, which is very similar to both styles that already exist. It uses a more plain skin and sets a transparent color. Man, that's a tedious thing to have to do. You can tell that at this moment the thing is fun to play with and basically functional, so I really want a little button. It's an important one, is to have a button just to add. Okay, so there's no point faffing with this. I will put the open latest there. I will put the text up here. I will make a new style of button, which is a transparent bloody costume. And I think that'll be it. Yeah. I want to avoid the buttons and the image information overlapping. And also, man, I hate to say this. Well, not that I hate to say this, but okay, right, one thing at a time. One thing at a time, and I've got 4 little things to do. The first thing I'll do is I will look at my button code, because it might be that it's not too bad, to just have to make a new style of button. Standard bare, I've got border size, in costume. I don't even store what style of button it is. I've got these idiotic make standard, make bare, and this kind of makes very poor sense. COSD light rectangle, dark rectangle. So what I want is a COSD which is transparent rectangle. Or COSD in normal. Transparent normal rectangle. Let me have a quick look at GUI classes. Man, I got a lot of stuff in here. Here are COSDs, costume defs, and their alias COSD. Be much easier to look at them if my mouse wasn't jumping around all over. Anyway, lots of costume definitions. I will probably need a color and color set. Color definition. Green, blue, dark grey, light grey, base bright. Right, yeah. So, a normal costume definition. Man. Has a standard color set, which includes base as a main color. Man, oh man. This is pretty, it's long-winded, but there's a lot of information that goes into making a consistent, a consistent looking GUI that you can also change. Possibly this is too much information, I accept that. But what if I want a costume? What if I just want to insert a new costume? Normal costume. God. And I want it to be called transparent rectangle. Is there a better word than that? Because transparent, it's not really transparent, it's more like translucent. And that's a weird word to put in. I think I'll say call it alpha. That's not good either. Like half alpha rectangle. Ah, man, I don't mind saying I don't like doing it this way. Because really what this sort of suggests is building quite a few new costumes. And I think that I will make, when I start to, now that I start to actually explore what it means making the new costumes, I don't think I'm going to do it. I hate to say it, I think I'm going to take the easy and kludgy route and make myself a new little button. I'm getting quite a collection of things here. These are all, the palette isn't, but the button, the gradient field, gradient gadget color button, snap request and color request are all gadget classes. And I'm about to make another one. Let me have a look at the color button and see how... Yeah, so it's actually more complicated than my button's going to be. Than my new button is going to be. Jinky jinky jink. And this button may have other uses as well. I will not call it color button. That name is taken. I will call it... God damn, I'm so much tempted to call it trans button, but that's no good. Let me concentrate for a moment. What will I call it? What is it really? It's just a button. A pretty normal button. It just has a different appearance. It has a transparent backdrop. And I'm just going to have to call it something like... Man, I hate coming up with names for things. Got no imagination. It's like it's a see-through button. It's a button that allows you to look at the thing behind it. So it has a use, and that's its kind of purpose. And more than that, it's actually just a button which you have where it just displays on a really simple... And even more than that, what I want is a button which basically lets me define the color of its rectangle, the rectangle that describes its, its position. Just to be a simple thing that you define in each of its states. I mean, this is a lot of stuff. And it should come with a default set of colors for those states which really reflect. Yeah. So what kind? So it's not a color button because it's not about opening a color selector. It's a normal button, but with simple colors. And I think I'm going to call it a simple button, even though it'll be considerably more complicated than a normal button. Okay. The border size thing I'll keep. This I'll keep. Border size, C set. In out costume, out costume. This is for toggling. Like, it doesn't actually, I don't think the... God. I don't think, yeah, in costume and out costume isn't actually used by the color button. That's stuff which gets used only really in costume out costume only really gets used when the button has been set to toggle mode, so it works like an on-off switch. So I should just ditch them. But in actual fact, this type of button may have a set of costumes of its own anyway, or at least there may be. Me. This is too much. I'm thinking too far ahead about the things I might want to use this button for. When really I'm not going to call it this. Am I? God damn it. God damn it. Because I know what the sensible thing to do here is, and I feel bad because here I am, 20 minutes into this, and I've got completely hung up on how I define the way that one of these buttons is going to look, and it's annoying to me because the thing that's annoying about it is there are all these options, you know, and I kind of think probably the best option, in quotes, is for me to do that thing I was about to do, fire in and create some new costumes, which can just be quickly assigned. And my gut feeling is that that is what I have to do. But then also, the other thing about that is that if I create them as costumes, the responsible and sensible thing to do is to use that palette. And that's something I want to escape from doing. I want to, outside of the palette that the GUI is using, I want to be able to say, no, these are the colours for these buttons. But that is a bit of freedom which I don't think is very sensible. Gosh darn it. I'm going to build it a hacky way. I'm going to take out those, I'll keep the border size, I'll keep the colour. This all goes. This costume state held in costume. That goes. This gets my microphone. It's like my microphone responds to my own sense of frustration because I am frustrated by this. I'm going to end up doing it this way that I'm doing it right now, and I just know that I'm doing it this way because it's cool for me right now. And I swear my mic is like, it's tempting me to smash the fucker, like my mouse so often does. And this is an embarrassing thing for me, because I can't actually afford to get a new microphone or mouse. You know, I boasted several days ago, an idle boast. Anyway, height 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0 for borders. For costume, it's cos d blank, because I don't want the GUI to take any responsibility for drawing this gadget. I'll finish it all off in finish draw. Color set C, yeah, okay, it can be. No, the default though will be black. Will it? I don't think it will be actually. can always use a color definition. Dark grey. These buttons cannot be lit, I won't bother with that. That's for color buttons. Now make the default color dark grey. I will allow you to set the color of these things because, well, just because. Property text is valuable, as is that. This becomes irrelevant, but I do need to think about that. Sorry, I distracted again. And here I'm only going to draw it, gosh damn, the text color. Here I am again. This, the button has its costumes, and within the costumes are stored information about the text color. In the case of a color button, that is ignored and it's just drawn with a black outline and white with a black outline. And in this case, what I want to do is just store another color here, which is called text color, and use it. And the reason it's different to that usually is because who knows, maybe you want to have a different text color for your different states of your gadgets, whether they're normal, covered, pressed, released, inactive. And all of that is automated, built in, and standardized, so to speak, by the costume system. And here I am, bucking the bloody text color, G color equals new color, G color. And text color set TC, because I'll do this too. I'll just let you set the text color, and by default it will be white. Comma TC G color equals null. If not TC equals, I'll just go for a call definition again, white. I guess I could also say set text color. This is a bit pointless, but I'll do it anyway. Void CG color equals null if not C equals call D white. And I realize that actually text color set C, and that I don't need to do all this. I could just call set color, and I will. I wonder how much of that got lost. Who knows? And I don't have to bother with this. Okay. Now, in Finish Draw, I start to lose my mind, but here I get rid of that. Here I just stick this in because I don't need to figure it out a bunch of times. Or, yeah, I don't need to use it more than once, is really what I mean. But before that, I just draw a simple rectangle. G draw. GUI image square. New square. Face left, comma, face right, comma, face width, comma, width white, comma, face height, comma, color AV, comma, blend mode, alpha. And that is it. Is it? No, it is not. That is not it. God damn it. This is where it gets really... This is where I just feel annoyed. Ugh, yeah, this is where I feel annoyed, because I think, yeah, got all these different states, but I suppose... And it's annoying that okay, yeah, I do understand why this is passed in as well. I remember why state is passed in. It's because although the gadget has its own state, actually, its state may be overridden. I can't just refer to the state I know this gadget is in, because if its parent is inactive, or any of its ancestors are inactive, it itself has become inactive. So if I'm doing some jiggery-pokery in finish draw, like here, these gadgets, if similarly with the text, similarly with the font button gadget, actually, when I think about it, no, not the font, similarly with the color button gadget, when I think about it, they won't go inactive correctly. The text will stay white. It's a laborious process, what can I say? It's a laborious process for me, anyway. But what I can say is this. I can calculate the covered color and a pressed color. Simple button color equals this. Field C color, G color equals new G color, and P color, G color equals new G color. And inside set color, I will just auto-generate these. I will say C color set C, 1.3 and P color set C, 2.0. And all that does is set this color to be the value of this color multiplied by this scale. So this will be a little bit brighter, this will be quite a bit brighter. Then inside finish draw, I hate things. Here I am doing my usual, saying, oh, simple button, you occasionally need a little bit of working space, which is a temp color. Yeah. And in draw, I say temp color set color, and then I say select ST, then I say case, my god. I hope I'm going to be allowed to do that. there are many possible C color. There are lots of possible states. P color, and actually I'm going to make this default temp C set color. That's not super wise, I don't think. But it has to be something. And then this is drawn actually with temp CAV. Okay. The finish resize is the same, basically. It's just a little bit of jiggery pokery to make it draw. So these, with their default setup, should in theory look more or less how I want them to. I think. Maybe I'm really wrong about that. Maybe I'm missing something. But without passing any values, I should be able to actually just switch out buttons for simple buttons inside this. And inside this. These are not these types of buttons. These are simple buttons. Simple, 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 simple. And I want an add button. Also a simple button. Now, clearly, I meant to say simple button, simple button, simple button, simple button, simple button, simple button. Then, down here, after close button and after this set event response, self set event response, response true, I want to say cx equals face width minus button height, and cy equals face height divided by 2 minus face height, no, minus button height divided by 2. Then add button equals new simple button self, comma, a comma, cx, cy, button height, comma, button height, because it's a square button. But actually, I think I'm going to say button height plus 2 for the width, comma, nothing else. How did I think oh, true, close button. What is supposed oh, buttons should have images. How foolish of me. Right. Okay. Excuse my idiocy. I forgot about all the crap I need to stick an icon on a button. It really is a pain in the arse. Man. Okay, it's not that bad, is it? It's not that bad. God damn it, it's not that bad. And actually, finish draw is still fairly, it's fairly simple. Finish resize takes a bunch of rubbish to position. I mean, it's not. It's as I said before, it's slightly less clever than it was before as well. Ah, this is an extra frustration, which I should I should absolutely have seen coming. And it's been 40 minutes. Well, this has been tedious, but it's going to get a little bit less so when I stick an icon on these buttons, because it is required, is it? You know something? No other button here has an icon. The close button does. God damn it. This is going to so much annoy me because... No, I have to. Like, it'd be so easy for me just to make that, and be done with it, and have the word add, or have that. My god, is it easy to do that? Would it be so, so nice and easy? But it would look... Well, it would probably look okay in this case, because my cross is kind of cheesy. As it is, an X might look better. But it will annoy me, really annoy me later, when I can't get one of these simple buttons with its particular type of appearance. And I can't display an icon on it. Okay, I apologise for this faffing. My future self, I apologise, but I will allow these simple buttons to display icons next time.